Okay, so have you ever felt uh, that nagging neck strain,
Hmm.
or maybe tension in your shoulders, or even that wrist pain after a really long day just glued to your computer?
Oh, definitely.
Maybe you went out and got a laptop stand, or like
Yeah.
splurged on a fancy keyboard thinking that would fix it.
Yeah.
But there's this one crucial tool. It often just flies completely under the radar.
It's so true. We tend to zero in on the big pieces, the big ticket items in our setup, and we completely overlook those smaller tools, the ones that are literally in our hands all day long.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into that often ignored hero, the wireless mouse. We've pulled together insights from a really comprehensive guide, looked at expert reviews, and even a whole list of FAQs. We want to uncover why your mouse actually matters way more than you probably think, and crucially, how you can find the perfect one for you.
Yeah, our mission here is really to distill the most vital insights, help you navigate all the options out there, and help you avoid that discomfort, making sure you're well informed about this, well, essential piece of tech.
Our source material really brings this sort of aha moment to life with a personal story. The writer shared how they realized, saying, I used to spend ages choosing the perfect keyboard, but totally ignored the mouse. That was a mistake I wouldn't make twice. And they highlight how a bad mouse can silently lead to that wrist pain, sore forearms, even that tight feeling just in one shoulder. Kind of like how a laptop stand saved them from neck strain. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
I actually thought my own wrist thing was just, part of getting older until I realized how much I was twisting my hand without even thinking. Makes you realize the impact these small things have.
That's a really powerful point, and it underlines something crucial. This oversight, it isn't just common, it's insidious. The real danger is how subtly these little discomforts can ramp up. What starts as maybe a minor twinge in your wrist or your forearm, over time, that can escalate. It can turn into serious chronic issues like repetitive strain injuries if you don't address it. It's the silent creep that honestly many of us don't even notice until the pain is just undeniable. So yeah, the right mouse, it matters just as much as the right keyboard, truly.
Okay, so if you're listening and thinking, right, I need to fix this, well, you're in luck. We've identified the top 3 wireless mice you'll actually want to use.
Yeah.
These names kept popping up in reviews and forums, and the first one tackles that wrist strain we were just talking about head on. It sounds pretty innovative. The Logitech Lift Vertical Ergonomic Mouse. This one really sounds like a potential game changer.
Yeah, the Logitech Lift.
Ah,
It's not just about a different shape, it's like a silent revolution for your wrist. The key insight is how that vertical design naturally aligns your forearm, almost like you're shaking hands. And that eliminates that subtle twisting motion, the one that silently adds up to fatigue over hours and hours.
okay.
And get this, the clicks are super quiet. That's huge for focus, especially if you're in a shared space or, burning the midnight oil.
Oh, that's a good point.
It might feel a little odd at first, especially if you're used to a standard mouse, but the general feedback is that it quickly becomes really comfortable and it genuinely alleviates that pressure on the
Well,
wrist.
that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay, now for people who spend their non-work hours in, say, virtual worlds, the sources consistently recommended the ROG wireless mouse. It's labeled for serious gamers.
Hmm.
This one apparently boasts a tri-mode connection. So that means you can connect it like 3 different ways. Wired, standard Bluetooth, or using an ultra-fast 2.4 gigahertz wireless dongle for basically zero lag.
Hmm. Speed is key there.
Right. It's all about responsiveness, smoothness, that tactile feedback. Perfect for competitive gaming. And then if you're a gamer who needs that high performance but maybe needs to keep an eye on the budget, the Razer gaming mouse came up as high performance, low price. It apparently keeps that classic Razer Ann feel, delivers stable performance when you're gaming, and it's just excellent value for money. Good bang for your buck, basically.
So if you step back and look at the big picture here, you can see how these recommendations sort of map out. You've got the Logitech Lift, which is squarely aimed at office work, professional use, prioritizing that long-term comfort and health. Then the ROG and Razer mice, they're really optimized for gamers. The focus shifts to speed, precision, customizable features. And Razer offers that more budget-friendly entry point without sacrificing too much on the competitive edge.
All right, those are some great options to start with. But now let's get into the real deep dive. How do you choose the right mouse for you? This is where we move beyond just general recommendations and into like personalizing your setup.
Yeah, this is critical because there are several key things to think about, way beyond just the brand or how it looks. First off, consider your hand size. Seriously. You can actually measure your hand length, just go from the base of your palm up to the tip of your middle finger.
Okay.
This helps figure out if you need a small, medium, or large mouse for a proper grip and, well, comfort. For instance, the average female hand is around 16 to 18 centimeters long. So if you have smaller hands, you might find compact or medium models way more comfortable than some standard large ones. Then there's grip style. This sounds technical, but it's basically how you hold a mouse. There are three main types: palm, claw, or fingertip grip. Let's talk about palm grip. That's where your entire palm rests flat on the mouse. It offers, generally, maximum comfort and stability. It's often ideal for larger mice and for long periods of use, like office work or anything needing really precise, steady control. Understanding your grip is pretty key to avoiding strain. And of course, you need to think about your main usage. Are you mostly doing office work, spreadsheets, emails, or are you a serious gamer needing quick reflexes? And finally, your personal preferences. Do you need wired for absolute zero latency, or do you prefer the freedom of wireless? Do you need extra buttons like macro buttons for specific tasks or game commands? These details, they seem small, but they make a huge difference day to day.
Those are all super practical points. But what about some common things people say, like, is a lighter mouse always better? We hear that a lot.
Not necessarily, no. It's a common idea, but, well, lighter mice are often preferred for really fast-paced games, especially first-person shooters, FPS games, where you're making big, rapid movements.
Makes sense.
But actually, some users prefer a bit of weight. They find it gives them better control, more stability, particularly for precise work in creative software or maybe slower-paced games. So ultimately, it really just comes down to personal preference and your specific usage style. There's definitely no single right answer there.
Okay. And the big one for comfort. Do ergonomic mice actually work? Or is it sometimes just, marketing buzz?
Oh, they absolutely do work. They really are specifically designed to reduce that wrist strain and muscle tension, which is crucial if you're using a mouse for hours on end. They play a significant role in preventing, or at least easing, repetitive strain injuries, things like carpal tunnel syndrome. They do this by promoting a more natural hand and wrist posture. It's not just marketing talk, it's actual biomechanical design doing its job.
Right, so it's genuinely about better posture for your hand. But can you use one for gaming? If you have an ergonomic mouse for work, can you game with it?
Ugh. Good question. Yes, you can, technically. For casual games or maybe strategy games like RTS or RPGs, it might be totally fine. But generally, they're not recommended for those fast-paced, reaction-heavy FPS games we mentioned.
Right.
They might just feel too bulky or maybe a bit slow for those really rapid, precise movements needed in competitive play. Gaming mice are specifically optimized for that speed and control in a way ergonomic mice usually aren't.
Okay, speed versus comfort again. That makes sense. It makes me wonder, though, is there anything hidden inside the mouse that affects performance? Something most of us never even think about.
That's a fantastic question. And yes, there is. We're talking about the mouse switch, or sometimes called the micro switch.
Okay, micro switch.
Yeah, it's this tiny mechanism inside the mouse that actually registers when you click. Now, what's crucial here is the quality of these switches. It directly impacts your experience. High-quality switches, maybe from well-known makers like Omron, for example, they offer better tactile feedback.
Tactile feedback.
Yeah, that crisp, physical bump or satisfying click you feel under your finger. It confirms your action. It also allows for faster follow-up clicks because it rebounds quicker. And importantly, it means much greater durability over millions of clicks. These are super important features for serious gamers, obviously, but also for anyone who just uses their mouse heavily every single day.
Wow, okay, so even the little click mechanism matters. So to kind of summarize the top brands based on what they're best for, it sounds like it really boils down to maybe Logitech for general work and productivity.
Generally, yes.
And then Asus, ROG, or Razer if you're more focused on gaming.
That's a pretty good rule of thumb, yeah. They definitely cater to those different needs quite well.
Okay, so what does all this mean for you listening right now? We've gone from maybe just overlooking the humble mouse to understand it's actually a pretty pivotal tool for our comfort and even our performance.
Yeah.
It's not just about, a cool design or how many buttons it has. It's really about choosing a tool that fits your hand, your grip, and what you do all day.
Indeed. By thinking about these factors like hand size, your grip style, how you use it, even those internal bits like the mouse switches, you can genuinely transform your whole experience. You can move from that nagging discomfort to, well, efficiency and maybe even a bit more enjoyment in your daily computer use.
We really hope this deep dive empowers you to maybe look at your current mouse setup, with fresh eyes. Maybe it is time for an upgrade. Or maybe it's just about adjusting how you're holding it right now.
And this brings up, I think, an important question for you to consider. If something seemingly small, like an overlooked mouse, can have such a profound impact on your physical well-being and your productivity, what other seemingly minor tools or habits in your daily routine might be silently influencing your comfort or performance, just waiting for their own deep dive?
Something to think about. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.